And just like that, we are in the party. What's up, everybody? Already joining us. Vibrant episode 11. 11, the very mystical number for our mystical guest, Korinne Wilson, aka the Occult Priestess. You've seen her on InnerVerse, you've seen her on Viiiibes. Welcome, and probably on her own channel if you know what's good. So, how you doing, Korinne? Welcome. So I'm going to go ahead and say hi to all my chatters in the comments. We got...
I have to close something. I'm sorry. There's like an echo.
Oh, no worries. This is Jazz. So what's up, Rachel in the chat? Davin, False Reality Check. Gabriel, Slick Dissonant. Common Sense Cult. What's good, Nick? Chelsea. And then over on the Rockfin side, Juliana saying hey, and Gordy. So we're all set. We've even got some things already in the call-in line to start on. But first... And hey, what's up, Matt Jones? First, before all that, let's just let you remind everyone who you are and what you've been doing for all this time, in case they're new to you, because they might be new to the channel.
Hi, my name is the Occult Priestess, and I'm very inexperienced at green screens, as you can probably tell by now. I do need some help. I will trade my gifts for yours if you can help me with this green screen. I'm
better than my green screen. I've never even tried. So, surpassing me.
I think they're fun. Obviously, theatrics. So I'm the Occult Priestess on the internet. My name is Korinne Wilson, and I've been teaching and counseling people most of my life, and even my mother when I was little. So I would say all my life. And I pursue my spirituality like most people pursue money. So I'm really into enlightenment and enlightenment for all. And if there was a vote that I would cast my vote in, it would be, would you like enlightenment for all? Otherwise, I don't vote.
Does it even work any other way?
Work?
I mean, is it even fun any other way? How about that? Enlightenment for all? Or like, I mean, is it really enlightenment if it's not the all? Because isn't your mind what becomes enlightened, and isn't the mind the all? Or isn't
that's
the all
arguable
mind?
Because down here, everyone always takes me into the weeds here. So here we're growing souls on planet Earth. So not all souls make it. That's what I know. But a lot of people philosophize that all souls make it, no matter what their choices are.
I think maybe it's the life force essence that comprises the soul. Just, does the reincarnation jive if they don't win the great work prize, right? So eventually they'll make it.
Well, no, there's an end to the reincarnation cycle too. And either by that many lifetimes, you've either grown your soul from lead to gold, or you've atrophied.
I can dig it. Not
nobody talks about this because it doesn't sell books.
It's not feel good enough. Yeah, it's the same with most of the dogmatic religions. It's just, oh, I found the right thing to believe that justifies whatever I do. Everything will be fine. But I think you got to grow your soul. I'm with you on that. I think probably the chat agrees, because that's the whole NPC jive. When people are not growing their soul, they seem roboticized.
Yeah, well, I feel like I've grown up either around zombies or robots. I suppose pick any horror movie you like, or any horror character. So can we have a shout out to all the chats going on right now, all the different channels that have the chats in them?
Yeah, we've got 3. Let's shout out to your channel. I'm keeping an eye on as many as I can. A lot to juggle, but we started before even we got in here. Claire Mathis dropped a nice tip your way on your channel. That's super kind. And she's
Claire's my girl. Hi, Claire. I want to say hi to Claire Mathis. She's my girl.
Right on. And
very
also
supportive.
In your chat, Bubblegum Douche, which is one of the best screen names ever.
Brand new and very supportive. Already saw them earlier today, I believe, at Ryan's house, which would be the last American vagabond.
That's awesome. We've got a really tight-knit group of people that go between the streams. I've noticed that like all the most hot happening and hot, delicious metaphysical gravy, you see the same people in the live chats all the time. It's awesome. So speaking of some of those people, also want to say hey to Alan Marcus. I just saw you pop up in the chat, and Astro Aries astrotheology. Illuminati's here. Whoa, what's up?
Illuminati.
That's one I know from Lindsay's chat on Rogue Ways. Cool.
Excuse me, that's great.
It's pretty funny. And Stephanie. So you guys keep popping in. I'll keep saying hi. But since we've already got great things in our call-in line waiting for us, I'm going to just bring it on, right?
Bring it on. That's exactly what I was thinking. You're so in sync, dude.
I've been getting more psychic lately.
Well, I love it. Hopefully the whole planet. Let's cross our fingers.
I don't see why not.
When there's a threat, you get psychic really quick.
Yeah, I mean, you always were, right? It was just pretend.
When you have a hard childhood or you have to put up with abuse, then there's your sixth sense is sharpened. But go ahead. What's going on in the chat? I'm so interested.
Well, we got this fun meme. If video games have taught me anything, it's that this guy is selling rare items that I'll need later in my quest. And I'd say that his costume has got at least plus 20 charisma points. I'm pretty sure those are balloons on his head. That is just, it reminds me of my friend Kabir, the most rainbow you could possibly be, while also being very secure.
It looks like a piñata threw up on him. But he looks like a party, like a one-person party. I'm totally into that.
Right, and it fits the vibe rant. I mean, this is vibrant here. This is very colorful.
It looks like when they're in a procession where they're carrying the statues and all the different things, like more Mexican or Brazilian, not really the Catholic Church with their processions, but the more colorful ones, even in India, it looks like all that in one man.
You know what? The more I look at this, the more I like about it too. Check out, he has a tail, I think, of balloons. I think that's balloons tied together to form a tail. That is, he's dedicated to the craft.
You know what? Rip Van Winkle would be jealous of that man.
Thank you, Juliana, for that. And so then we got questions for you if you're interested.
I love questions. It's the only way I really understand what to say.
All right. And for anyone that's not sure how the call-in line works, let me just reiterate, and then I'll pop some links into the chat. The chat's plural, I should say. So on Telegram, there's a group called Viiibes Call-In Line, and I'm going to drop a link for you to join that group if you're a Telegram user. If you're not, good reason to try it out, because that's where the party's at, and basically you can replace your Google search algorithms with actual experienced human beings that will tell you answers based on real insights, and maybe even give you links to things you would never find in a search engine. So Telegram, for that reason alone, is worth it. Plus it's fun. Plus there's no trolls or censors. InnerVerse Tribe is strong there, and many other good stuff. It's just like no profile posturing, all communication. So worth joining Telegram. Don't let that be the reason you don't get in the call-in line, and put your questions, your memes, your voicemails, and all these things can go before Wednesday too. Like if you have early thoughts that you want to just ask whoever happens to be the guest because you don't know yet, or you want to respond to something from a previous show, like really, this is the community show. I want you guys involved to the extent that you'd like to be on stage. So all that disclaimer aside, Gordy asked if we could talk about your perspective on blessing food as a magical practice, and if you see cooking as a type of spell casting or simple magic, and if not, what would the difference be?
It depends who's in charge of the cauldron.
Fair.
Oh, gross. So I'm just going to go and wing it. Like my thoughts are uncensored this evening. That's
how it should be.
Okay, good. The first time I heard about somebody cooking with a purpose in a way that struck me that I would remember is there was a woman who was putting her menstrual blood into the pasta sauces and feeding them to this guy, and in a way to get him to be more into her. So that's one way of cooking, but I wouldn't call that cooking with love. I would say that was cooking with black intentions, dark intentions.
Love should be the first ingredient on the list, which means it's the most of it, of anything. Right? Okay.
But I do believe in the sacredness of food, and that also teaches us the sacredness of our own bodies. It depends on which one you want to learn first, but one of them is going to come at you. And learning how our bodies actually work with food is something we're not taught. I was definitely not taught that. I didn't learn it until later in my 30s. because I took up the study of it myself. And in most of our past lives, if you guys will remember, we were foragers, we were hunters, we weren't grocery storers. So I find these things quite natural to talk about, to think about, but not quite yet to do, because I have zero opportunity. And, you know, we're in these cities and we're doing these city things, at least for now. I think we're all learning some very big lessons about our lifestyles and how healthy or unhealthy they might be.
Scott Cook just tipped both of us $10. So
Oh my gosh, he's so generous. Scott
really,
Cook is an artist and he's my friend. And I would like to thank him very much for being so generous, and no jealousy between hosts because we both got a tip. Isn't that nice?
yeah, I mean, I'd be happy if either of us did, but to do us both equal like that, what a true chum. I mean, I would
It
love,
says
what
a
kind of
lot
art does
about
Scott
him.
do? I know this is,
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, you know, I'm not going to say too much because he could be private, but I'll send you stuff and we'll talk about him
all
all
right,
you
Scott,
want.
if we can share any of your art, just drop a link to it
If he
in one of the
knows how to
chats.
do that, yeah. He did the best. I love the one where he did a Frankenstein and it says, "Trust the science." It's so
That's
good.
basically where we're at.
It
Walking
is.
corpses telling you what's good for your health.
Yeah,
And you look at some of these people that are like the minister of health and whatever, or the mayors and the governors, and they look like they look like in a Star Wars video game where they went full dark side and their faces are melting and they're like Emperor Palpatine. That's basically or Beetlejuice maybe at best.
Oh, Beetlejuice looked better.
Beetlejuice, he's ruggedly handsome, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a meme going around, is Beetlejuice in the underworld, and he's saying, "Which vaccine did you take?"
I think I saw that. Yes. Painting a meme picture with words. That one's easy.
Yeah, Al Gore invented the internet after all, Bubblegum says in my chat.
Okay, another question comes from Chris. He wants to know about writing affirmations or intentions on a glass of water, or just like maybe the whole pitcher of water that you drink or water plants with. Do you think that level of intention setting is a worthy ritual?
If you go to my YouTube or Rockfin channel, Rockfin/Occult Priestess, you will see a video all about this called Aristotle's Drum. And not a lot of people watched it because it's Aristotle, and I guess they don't care about him anymore. But this is about Dr. Emoto, the water experiments, and also Ghostbusters when they did the slime experiments. And I'm saying that they're similar. So just like in the cooking, and there was a really good quote you put up there from the chat about the intention, anything done with the intention of love is more powerful. And it goes the same with your water and all that. But you know what? Isn't it a form of discipline to take your water and make labels and do all these things? Isn't that what you're actually doing? Is disciplining yourself? And so my suggestion, do what your spirit guides say, period. But my suggestion is focus on meditation and learn as many ways of meditation as you can. That way you'll find out which way works for you, because meditation is the key to everything ever in the occult.
I think so too. I mean, at the end of the day, if you can't steady the mind, how are you going to comprehend the all?
Or the heart.
Or the heart. Yeah. You can't get, like, for me, it's just important for stillness, because I'm like really go. And sometimes I'm vibrating. And when I meditate, it helps me actually get completely still. But I do think, there might be hacks to what Chris was asking about in a time-saving sense. Not that you should ever want to cut corners with your spiritual practice.
Well, that's the thing. The New Age has sold us out in saying that this is an easy path. It's a quick journey. You get there, you'll be a millionaire tomorrow. And that is not the occult or any kind of sacredness of any sacred religion.
But if you have, my point is that maybe instead of needing to go through the process, or maybe it'd be really cool if you painted your own mugs and you wrote the affirmations on there. So there was like an
Whatever,
art
get
project.
creative, be that, but also meditate.
Exactly. Like my routine, do it your way, people. But I start with meditation in the morning, and then I go into my version of prayers, which is kind of more like gratitude affirmations and intention setting, but with the gratitude going towards spirit, right? Creator.
I
If
just thank God every morning and every night, pretty much. But
right.
even
And
if
like for
something
me, that
happens, I'm
seems
like,
to
thank
be
you,
working
God.
for me. And I even say like all the food that I'm gonna eat today, all of that. Like let's just in one shot every day make sure that I'm recognizing that in case I forget to with an individual intake, right?
Well, these all are forms of discipline, like a martial art, like Bruce Lee would do. So just understand it for what it is.
Word. And the more time you're setting intentions and practicing gratitude, the better, no matter what way
I
that you
don't
do
do
that.
intention gospel or prosperity gospel or tricking your mind to make things happen. I don't do any of that.
Yeah, you just go with the flow that is.
Not exactly. That's not magic to me. It's in a bunch of books, but it's not magic. So the Rosicrucians are actually the ones who wrote the book and the film The Secret,
Oh
which,
yeah.
so we know that's the Rosicrucians, and that's also prosperity gospel, right? Setting your intention and then having your own goal and then doing what you can to reach that goal. What I found for most people, when they're doing what they can to reach that goal, normally they're going to get a hook. They're going to get caught on something. They're going to get tempted towards something negative, which could be like manipulating a person into doing what they want, or lying or cheating or anything else, So when we're setting goals and intentions, we need to also understand we're going to be extremely honest in all we do. And the Reiki principles actually cover that really well. So if you just look up REIKI principles, then they can help you stay within alignment with the All One or God, so that your intentions are pure as white snow. Because usually people who are working with they're working with their subconscious, right? To program their subconscious into believing that these intentions will come true. See it, know it, believe it. Thoughts are things, all of those prosperity gospel slogans. But the truth is, you're just brainwashing yourself, just like the TV does, just like the government does, just like anybody else does. The point in the occult is to break the subconscious, to break through to the other side,
Break on
into
through to the other side.
precisely. And who said it first but William Blake? So what we're talking about here is the actual occult, how to heal your childhood, your subconscious, your monkey mind, and become one who can hear the divine, basically.
And that's about getting real. So I actually love the nuance you're sharing here.
Okay.
Because
It's
I think
nuanced. Okay, cool.
I mean
I
nuance
thought it was obvious.
well, it's
I
obvious,
love
but
it.
it's a nuance that isn't gone into when the ideas of intention
Nobody
are brought
talks
up very
about
often.
it.
Some do, but not a lot.
Oh, well,
And
I want their phone number. Damn it.
Michael Tessarion.
Well, right? Michael
He's the man.
Tessarian. Scott, actually, I know about Michael Tessarian, but Scott got me to listen to him more and more. And
He's a
you
buddy.
being on his show too. And Scott's like, oh my gosh, Chance is on, that show. Please say the name of the show again.
Unslaved.
Unslaved.
All-time
And
champion
you do
unslaved
so
guest.
well on there, and he is great. And like Mark Passio is good. He yells too much for me, but I'm just saying, people that don't
He's
take
all right.
shit, and people that know history and know the pagan past and pagan history and what really happened and what's the new world order and what is false religion and what are we being pinned into. We're in serious times, and talking about blowing bubbles and rainbows probably isn't what we should be talking about.
Well, okay, so
I'm vibing and I'm ranting.
yes, she is. The hat is the real vibe too. So okay, and we both wore black for the occasion, of course.
Always.
And I wore a meditator shirt. How about that? There's a guy meditating on
You
my
know
shirt.
what? I
Makes me
thought it looked
spiritual.
like Baphomet from way back here.
No,
But
it's a guy.
I can see it's like a Buddha in the middle.
Yeah, he's very nice. Okay, so
I
what
always make fun of t-shirts, dude. Don't take it
what I
personal.
relate what you're talking about to is a book called The Neverending Story. That maybe this isn't an author's intention or how other people interpret it, but in that book, one of the most awesome lessons that I felt like was in there was that your wishes, if you wish for something that's not who you truly are, will take away part of yourself. Like you'll lose a part of your true self to gain that wish. And what that means is kind of like what you were saying, how they want the car, they want to manipulate someone.
Materialism.
It's spiritual materialism. And if you go down the path of intending and wishing spiritual materialism, then you're going further away from truth, right? So you're losing part of yourself to gain that. But if you find the correct wish,
why would you find the correct wish? What is that process? Where's that book?
There's no book for that. No.
Right. You don't find the correct wish.
Well, okay, find is the wrong word. But if you wish the correct wish, which is for just ultimate clarity and truth, and like I think that's a totally safe daily intention to set, which is like go further on the path towards the larger reality and recognizing it, right? As opposed to like, I want the new car. But honestly,
it's just so fairy tale like charming, but you call it wishes. I love that. Where did you get that?
That's because that's from the book. I'm interpreting that amazing book.
Okay.
Yeah. He kind of gets. There's the character finds himself in a situation where whatever he wishes for comes true somehow, and it gets him into trouble.
Yeah, it would, especially a young person.
Yes, he had a lot of insecurities in there that he had to work out.
You know what? I think people forgot, especially deluded New Agers, that there are predators everywhere. People are predators, and they forgot that we're prey.
That's kind of a funny sync because we're talking about prey.
True. Very true.
Okay,
did I scare everybody? Do we have any questions?
Predators out there. You know what? I'm more worried about the people with parasites than the predators. But hey, Claire says the secret is trading out one cult for another cult. That's so right on the money. Yeah. That's what Michael Tessarion calls it, the law of attraction cult. I totally feel that.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, he's got great content on that. But Chelsea says, very grateful we are all here. We're having fun. So in the Telegram group, this is really fun. Let me see. Jenny B in the chat.
Jenny B, hey girl.
She says that the Occult Priestess God is My DJ playlist is where it's at. So let's look at that here.
Oh my gosh, really? Oh wow, I've been keeping that since forever ago. Thanks. Wow.
Here it is.
People know about this. I had no idea.
The Facebook group called that.
I do. I have a Facebook group called God is Your DJ because I had a series of visions that proved to me beyond a shadow of a doubt that God is my DJ. And sometimes that's how I make it through the day with the DJ.
Nice. So there it is.
The first song is Kate Bush, Sat in Your Lap, which is all about wisdom and how to get it and how hard it is not to have it.
Didn't I just found out Kate Bush did a song about like Wilhelm Reich?
Yeah, cloud busting.
See, that now I get. Like I never really got into Kate Bush, no offense. I know she's your fave.
Amazing. But telling
clearly
you,
she is. If she's into Reich, I mean, I gotta think about this different. Like I gotta get in there and see what she's doing.
Yeah, she talks about Aborigines, Houdini, and she's an occultist.
That's rad. Okay. So everyone out there, if you didn't know, Kate Bush is the real deal.
On my Twitter, I have hashtag Kate Bush under my description because I don't know. I just hope one day she'll know what a big fan she has in me.
No, yeah, she's probably seen it at some point. I know you.
God is an excellent DJ. Thanks.
Best
Weaving
DJ
Spiders, welcome.
Ever. Yeah, Jim. He did a Vibrant a couple back, and
I was there, I believe. Yeah.
yeah, we made him laugh a lot. We should show the video of his goats from earlier today. He shared a really great
Go for it.
goat vid. We'll get there. This is cool. It's a question that has a meme associated with it. So here we go from Kaylee. She says, "What does Korinne think about pacts of agreement?" And this says, "I hereby void all contracts that were entered into against my free will. My energy cannot be used to feed negative systems." Do you think this is the same type of thinking? Or do you think, because I think I can see it both ways, that if you have just the law of attraction, intention setting BS with no action, then it's worthless. But I think it's harmless if you're also taking action. You just can't let hope be your action for you.
Can you tell me the lady's name again?
Kaylee.
Kaylee. And can you show the meme again?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Thank you. I want to thank Kaylee because this is very, very, very important. And I spent about 5 years on this very intensely, which is nulling and voiding spiritual contracts that even if I didn't even know they were there, I was up in the astral, nulling and voiding and telling everyone, null and void. And hopefully most people aren't going to have to go through those levels of it. And it will only take them maybe a year or so of saying no, no, no. And it is a psychic no. And that's why I'm asking you to learn to meditate, because you actually get above yourself into the higher astral to where you can say no to these things. But I do have one video on Occult Priestess YouTube. And if you actually just want to email me, go to my website, email me and ask me about this specific topic and I'll help you out. But we do need to be null and voiding even our bloodlines. Even most people probably don't want to get into that, but I'm saying if there's a ghost attached to you, I don't care if it's grandpa, you need to shut that down.
I hear them when I'm doing tuning fork sessions for people. There's a specific spot in the field where they come in loud sometimes.
I totally believe that. Okay, what's this one?
This one is maybe not a question, but she shared this one too, and it just says the greatest technology hidden from you is your own consciousness. And
I
feel
totally
like that's
agree.
mad fitting.
Yeah, she's on it. I wonder what her sign is.
Oh, she is actually an astrologer that people ought to be hitting up for readings because she's helped me a lot. She's like my personal astrologer now.
That's amazing.
Helped me so
I
much.
I want to say hi to Elf in my chat, Pat Breeze, and also Viiiibes. If I haven't said hi to you, hello, Viiiibes. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Catching up on all the chats is a lot of clicking around and jumping.
I love it. I think it's so much fun. I mean, it's like being in my head.
I like to juggle a lot at once. It makes it more exciting for me. So, and she shared another one. This is a meme that came up in the group chat earlier in the week or last week, and I thought this is one of the greatest ones ever. When someone calls you weird and you remember the etymology of the word weird. Weird.
That happened to me this week, literally with the client. I was like, well, you say weird this. In fact, the client's close right now. I was like, you say weird in that way, but I know the etymology of the word. I literally said this meme, and someone in the chat knows that. That's crazy.
This one went around, I guess. It's so good. From, if anyone's just listening, weird, adjective, circa 1400, meaning having power to control fate. From weird.
It's the Weird Sisters, WYRD Sisters. Look them up.
Yes, exactly. And it has my name in it. From the Old English weird, fate, chance, fortune, destiny, the fates. And the Weird Sisters are like the fates. Similar.
Wouldn't that be a good last name for you?
I was thinking because someone brought up the Kybalion in the show I was listening to.
Yes.
Today, and that great old quote, a real zinger. There is no chance. Chance is just law unrecognized. I'm paraphrasing. So I was thinking, do I need to change my name to Law?
Gosh, no. I think Chance, we all have a lot of fun with your name.
I do enjoy that.
We always use it as a pun.
As my whole life, it's been that way. So
that'd be cool to have a name that was a pun. I think
it's cool that you don't have to as a chance, you don't have a lot of competition with other people in your friend group to have the same name. Just is
It's
what it
so
is.
easy in poetry to rhyme you.
Astro Aries says The Matrix of English Language is a good book by Seven Bomar. I
Oh, 7.
think
Well,
it's called like
I overstand you, or do I understand you?
he's an understand guy more than overstand.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
Rastas that overstand, but Seven understands. I'm like, I like that best.
It's
I'm
got
good
to
with
be
that.
8 years since I've listened to him.
Oh, well, he's been going hard
Yeah, he's
that entire
around.
time. He gets a lot done. I like what Seven Secret Energy does with his sharing the platform he's built with people very easily. They can do affiliate links and, everybody can win together kind of. I do that. It's very helpful. They've got good cleansing products, and I think you need that. Oh,
I'm
Martin
wondering
says,
about Alex Jones DNA Force Plus. If anybody can give me some feedback on that, I'd like to know because it sounds very interesting.
I
I've
just
never
don't
bought
trust
anything
Alex
from
Jones
him.
as far as I could throw him. And I don't even know if I could pick him up, but that's me.
Well, I don't know if any of us would be here without having Alex existed.
Oh, I circumvented the whole Alex Jones thing. Zeitgeist was my end, that movie, which there's another movement that's been co-opted. Kind of badly, just went straight to communism, ironically.
Well, they all will eventually.
Very
Yeah,
true.
they were trying to push that new Earth and the Venus Project and all that stuff. I remember. So,
Yeah.
anything else in the chat that's more recent?
Oh, there's more stuff for sure. I never even shared the call-in line link, so I'll do that, I swear. But this looks like it's a meme that was made by Nick C3 Cult. He makes his own, which is pretty rad. He's starting to show symptoms of free will and independent thought. Put the news on the TV. The north, east, west, south.
Ain't that
That's
the
pretty
truth?
good. With a fear IV bag. Very well done.
Yeah, and didn't Dune, like a remake, just come out? And isn't the theme of Dune that fear is the mind killer?
So true. I will not fear. Fear is the little death that precedes obliteration.
Yeah, the petite mort.
Oh, yes. That is I never thought about that connection, but that is
Well,
what they call it in France.
you can thank Obelisk for that because it was Luciferius at Luciferius on Twitter who actually said that during our radio show last week. He said it. So giving him credit where credit is due. I didn't say it.
Well, the Spiders just did a huge Dune blowout covering all the different various Doom forms. And I wanted to get in there, but I haven't seen any of the film adaptations, so I didn't join them on that. But I'm thinking maybe I will watch the new one because everyone is just like on it, and maybe I'll just join the hive and watch it.
I
The
only
book
got
was
to
so
the
good.
part. I got to the part where they did the box again. I believe, yeah. But then it just wasn't. Gosh, Sting wasn't in it. No
The
one was
Gom
in it.
Jabbar. I mean, come on. That's
No
so
one was in it.
2021. The Gom Jabbar jab. And if you have fear, it'll stab you.
Yeah, dude.
And you'll
See?
die. You'll die. I mean, they're literally telling you exactly what they're doing.
I can't. That's not entertaining to me.
Yeah, exactly. But what's weird is that was so far in the past that it's like, did they just grab that book to make a remake now, or was it written back then with the plan that it would be movieized
Who
right now?
hires the writers? Who makes the books popular? Yeah, Philip K. Dick, all those guys.
Oh, I just learned Philip K. Dick's life story today, and he was a serious asshole.
Yes, he was.
He's so bad.
Most of them. Robert Anton Wilson was also a butthead.
He was so terrible. Man. Yeah. And you know what? They have a common thread that runs between them, in my opinion. They all rock that pop culture Gnostic dogma that is polluting the mystery schools and secret societies of the West. That
it's not just polluting, honey. It took over. I can't find any occultist. That's what I call an occultist.
Thank you. Yeah, it's
I can't
not even
find one.
Exactly. So this is the other thing that me and Tessarion talk about a bunch.
I need to talk to that guy.
Well, he's on, dude. He's on. I'll connect you. Why not?
We'll see.
He sometimes takes my recommendations, or we can go together. Sometimes I take a friend onto the show. And
that would be good. Let's go together. You hold my hand. But I think once he and I got into it, we would have the most epic bitch fest ever.
Oh yeah, dude. He can definitely bring the heat.
I like it. We need the heat. I mean, we've got all these white, light, fluffy bunnies hugging trees and saying it's going to be over tomorrow. Get out of the clouds, kids.
Yeah, I don't know when it's going to be over, but I just like to tell people that your energy is the only thing you really have a lot of control over. So just get healthier and stronger. See
Yeah,
what
what if
happens
it's
then.
never over?
What if it's infinite stairs and we just continue?
Infinite stairs.
It's infinite chutes and infinite ladders. That's what I think.
Well, that's more Masonic. Some of us have turbojets. We don't need chutes or ladders.
Fair. And then
I
you
got an
can
invisible
go
Wonder
meet
Woman
people
jet.
where they're at. Like, oh, you're down there. I'm coming. I'll be right there. Yeah, why
Unless
limit?
the entrance into their atmosphere would blow you up.
This isn't Alan. Will you just call in and tell us what like some of the best things about Dune for us occult interested people that you decoded? Because it was a huge episode. If you want to leave us a voicemail on it, feel free. No pressure. But I like what you said here that religion's syncretized, because there is a big syncretism thing going on right now, and it feels natural, like we're getting to the bottom of stuff, but there's also, I think, a dark side of that where it becomes just like the all-inclusive weird buffet style spirituality where it's like, this feels good, and it doesn't actually matter the truth of this, or like recognizing what archetypes even are, and you're just picking a different mascot for your team, ego team.
That's right. Digging your own grave deeper and deeper.
Reality crossed with fictional resurrections are in vogue now. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Gabriel.
Wasn't The Matrix a resurrection? I mean, I guess it hasn't come out yet, but I feel like I've already seen it. But that'll be a resurrection.
Yeah, that's weird too, that they're doing that right now, but not weird when you think about all the Matrix symbolism that they've thrown out there, like giving people in New Zealand a blue jelly bean if they took their Gom Jabbar. Thank you for taking it. Here's a blue jelly bean. Like, they're not messing around. It's so funny. But that Illuminati, that movie's gonna suck. Matrix 4 probably is. I mean, not
There's
even
going
the
to be a
same
cool part,
directors.
because I had a vision years ago of the new Matrix, believe it or not, and Trinity trines, and I saw Trinity become several different Trinities, and then it's like a magic trick. She trines. Like, I don't know how to explain it, because
Is
I'm
that
not
her
a
becoming
computer-y.
the fates, the three sisters?
She becomes the three. She becomes the Trinity, and depending on what religion you are, but maiden, mother, and crone is paganism. And that's what I saw. She became the three of herself, but then she was 3 times powerful, and she was 3 times
Thrice
awesome,
great.
just like Hermes. Exactly. But it was happening to a female. So I thought it was so cool. I saw it in the preview, in the trailer. They show her going all wonky, and I'm like, that's Trinity Trinitying.
I'm cool with that. And I don't see why isn't Mercury androgynous in a way anyway? Could be
So
either.
Mercury isn't real, but Hermes is, and Aphrodite is, and Hermes Aphrodite is hermaphrodite,
Gotcha.
which is our goal as in the mental realm.
Mercury's real in the alchemical sense, like as an actual.
Well, the Romans
compound.
made up the word, so.
Marie Curie.
The Greek is Hermes.
The Norse have Odin, and it's the same alchemical.
They
concept.
know each other, but they're not the same being.
They're two beings that are in the same process, maybe you could say.
Well, you want to talk about chemicals, and I want to talk about gods, so it's kind of hard.
I look at the gods in the terms of the stories we got from them as allegories. Not that there's no entity out there that you could contact, because I've been getting Hermes Lord 8 messages myself, so I know there's something there that goes by that.
Yes, he does.
Very
he loves
interesting.
his name. I love it too.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so many things that people, once that being is established, there's so many things people will layer on top of it in terms of mythology. That's really a different agenda rather than telling you something that being was really doing.
That's why meditation is so important, because then it'll give you the key to heal your subconscious, and then you break the subconscious into the infinite. And the infinite, you can talk to your spirit guides anytime you pick up the telephone.
So we got a goat video. We can just talk
Okay.
while we watch it. This is from Jem of the Spiders. He's got the best
Right.
goats. I know their names are
Gem Maiden.
Jupiter and
Zeus.
is one named Juno? I'm mixing that up. Or it's just Jupiter. There's not Jupiter's wife. Anyway, these are the cutest goats. Thanks for sharing that with us, Jim. We love them.
They look so healthy.
Yeah, they do. They remind me of. They're clearly so happy they might as well be like his dogs. Look at them go.
Oh, I'm sure they're a lot harder than dogs.
Probably. I'm captivated. Greatest goats of all time.
He should have a 24/7 goat channel.
That's true. You heard us, Jim. 24/7 goat stream on your YouTube. Can you just do that?
If you got $1 donation an hour, you'd be a rich man.
Yeah, once they get you on Rockfin,
I don't know if
that'll
this
be
is for Rockfin.
that'll be the Rockfin exclusive content.
It's more for Twitch, dude.
Goat feed. A feed of goats. Sometimes he feeds them on the feed. Okay.
That's
anyway.
funny. See, we're not sacrificing goats. We're watching them like cat videos.
Yeah. All right. So, wow, dude, the Vibrant line is popping. You guys are great. Alan put a gif of the craft. We are the weirdos, Mr.
I just saw that gif today. Well, maybe not that particular one, but the wording.
See, we're all in sync before we even knew we were going to be.
Well, I think God has a radio frequency, and you're either tuning into that or you're not.
Hey, so why do you? Okay, Elias wants to know why Gnosticism is constantly shoved in media, and that's a great question because when you really get
it's
to
the
it,
Piscean age. Can I get an astrologer witness? Piscean age is the age of dominance and submission. BDSM, right?
I call it the delusion because Pisces is the deep water. Deluge
because of the flood.
and all. Yeah. People's
Yeah,
heads are
and
underwater.
Build Back Better. I just
Maritime
figured
law.
out Build Back Better, the Great Reset, is just another freaking flood.
Build Back Better. The Great Reset.
Get
We
in
had
your
a lot.
conspiracy, man. Come on, man.
we had a really good breakdown of Great Reset and the Great Work as conflicting
weird.
potentials.
Because they're polar opposites.
Yeah, it's basically like the way we came down to it, and this was looking at electric universe theory and Norse mythology as an alchemical description of a galvanic cell or battery. And this was with Ben Balderson. So
okay,
good.
Boys. That's a boy thing to do.
Yeah, fun. And we kind of came to the conclusion that the great work is the inner version of, it's obviously an inner process, and the great reset is the universe forcing you basically because you're not doing it. Not that it will lead to you doing the great work, it'll lead to your recycling though with the reset. But anyway, I wanted to say about the Gnosticism being constantly shoved in media. It's more pervasive than people might even think, because when you look at how much simulation theory is pushed as an idea, it's literally just a different way of explaining God, and that saying God is not really God, it's a programmer.
Now, really, honestly and truly, it's nihilism, sweeties. That is nihilism. So look up
Gnosticism
Nietzsche.
is nihilism. Yes.
So look up Nietzsche, because that's where a lot of the
literally
1970s,
what Tessarion says.
Oh, well, I think that Tessarion and I listen to the same radio station. I'm very intelligent. It's just many people don't know. And I think he could bring it out, if you know what I mean.
You guys would have fun. We're going to do that. Let's not forget.
The great work for the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the New World Order, even way back again into the Roman era, that all of these, the great work was to put humanity into animal husbandry, which we now call social engineering. And the tool they use for social engineering, muchly, is the Christian tradition, or any tradition that's going to tell you that you suck as soon as you're born.
Yeah, you're in debt as soon as you're born. Sin means debt, people. It's all one thing.
And people take that personally, especially at a young age. And so that's traumatic mind control. Trauma-based mind control, sorry. There's words for this kind of stuff.
Alan makes a good point too. Many writers don't know what to write. They use Gnosticisms as the recipe.
Well, that way
Nihilism.
they know they're going to get published. But I believe it was our government, the American government, that hired most of the sci-fi writers, Star Trek, all of them, to make this false universe so that they could start their false religion.
Looking in the chat here.
Okay.
There's oh man, they hit us with a lot of doing stuff.
So we can go back to Orwell real quick and say that Orwell was in on it. He wrote 1984. He was part of it, and it was an instruction manual.
It's an admission and an instruction manual.
Indeed.
Yeah, make 1984 fiction again.
I have that T-shirt.
You do?
Yeah, it came from Luke Kwadowski of We Are Change.
Hey, we up here on the stage, we love it when you buy us T-shirts, everyone. Just letting you know. Our friend Lindsay from Rogue Ways just put out some really cool new merch. Totally want some. So just letting you all know. Just in case. I'll send you my address. Anyway, we love you. There's a call-in that I want to play. That's a recorded call-in, which is fun, from Jenny B. So I'm going to play that. It's about a minute. It was sent with love. So should be able to hear this. If you don't hear anything, tell me. But if you do, enjoy this voicemail.
Korinne, you are so cute. And I loved seeing you. The first time I ever saw you was on Weaving Spiders. And then there's like a great night when you and Jim were like up late and you were talking about that Manly P Hall outside. That was such a good flow. And oh yeah, your playlist is amazing. Great taste in music. And if anybody doesn't know, her meditations are like next level goodness. And oh my gosh, all the editing. Like, dude, it must take years for you to finish your videos. Amazing. If I had a question, I would, if you feel called to share, what is your sun, moon, and rising?
Thank you.
Oh, very good.
Wow, it's amazing. Thank you so much. So I'm sun sign Aquarius, Sagittarius rising, though some say Capricorn. So I'm 5:28 in the morning, February 11th, 1974, Cincinnati, Ohio, and my moon is in Libra.
Me too. Libra moon's in the house.
My Mercury, though, Mercury is very important. People don't necessarily think so, but I do.
Oh,
Mercury,
definitely.
That's where your thinking part is. And mine's in Pisces, which
Me
means
too.
we don't think in a traditional way at all. We are dreamers and visionaries and these kinds of things, as the astrologers in the audience will know.
That's rad. We got some cool alignments there, Korinne.
And my numerology, I'm a number 7 life
Me
path.
too.
See,
Me too.
again, that's ruled by Neptune. And that's even more psychic stuff. And Chance, I met you before most people did. We were put in the same pod before most people. So
you were one of my biggest, the first people to big time support me and tell people that I was not a shill.
You came into God Is Your DJ, and I was like, holy shit, who is this guy?
Is that how we got?
That is totally how that happened.
Wow.
You
Facebook,
put something, you put your show in God Is Your DJ. Yep.
That's cool. Man, now I just want to go back in my memory banks and see how I even found my way to there. But
I know that shocked me. I was like, how did he find this?
That's
so I knew
cool.
it was divine providence, of course.
Yeah, and we have some fun shows back in the archive. I think only 2 on InnerVerse, but man, the time just flies. I'm really glad to have you on the live show because this is a fun flow. And
yeah, I just want to thank Jenny.
1
second. I would have thanked Jenny personally for looking at my editing and understanding that it takes me 20 years to edit a video because it is a pain that I share all alone. And now I don't have to. So thank you so much. Okay, go ahead, Chance.
The silent struggle. Alejandra asks, sidereal or tropical?
Well, my astrology teacher said pick one and do it. And when we pick tropical, we see my Sagittarius rising. And possible in a sidereal chart, you could see there's an interception with Virgo. Like I have no Virgo, some kind of weird interception. So my chart is more interesting in sidereal, and you'll find a Capricorn rising there, I believe.
Yeah, sidereal. We had some interesting talks about that with Peace Dealer a couple episodes back. By the way, another thing to plug is that I was on Peace Talks with Peace Dealer, who's an amazing psychic and astrologer, super fun Gemini gang. Alan says editing is why Viibrant is live. That's super true. Like basically all the post-production work is done in the moment. And it's like, I love it so much. I don't mind post-production, but this is so much fun that I almost want to do 2 a week. What do you guys think? Is that crazy? Jenny B says, you a badass. Now, Elias in the Viibrant call-in line has mentioned that to be fair to Nietzsche, without his writing encouraging him to question and at least think for himself, he might not be here listening to us. And I think that's a really fair point, that there's many paths. And even when you look at stuff that you eventually don't agree with, it gets you thinking for yourself just to get into the conversation with the other. Like that's why we have it.
I found Nietzsche late. I found Nietzsche through the Dark Journalist. Well, not really. I found the 8 Spheres guy, Rudolf Steiner, through Dark Journalist. And I believe that showed me where Nietzsche was. And I got to go back to Nietzsche. But Hermes always says, naughty Nietzsche, right? There is no God, naughty Nietzsche. And we come across things at different stages and ages and maturity levels in our life. And I came across Nietzsche at a time where I could be very angry at him because I could recognize what he was in the moment it happened, the moment I saw him. But if I had found him earlier when I was younger, he may have made me change my mind on a few things.
Yeah, it's like what a broken clock is right twice a day.
You love your sayings.
I know. I need to get t-shirts like Lindsay has with my chance sayings on them. I have several I'm ready for. Like if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. That needs to be on a t-shirt. Somebody design that for me. Thank you.
Well, see, that's where, do 2 shows a week or do some t-shirts.
Right. There's just a lot of good things, fun things to do in life, and only so much time. So Viibrant call-in line people, this is the point in the show where I'm going to offer up the ability to come on stage with us.
Dun, dun, dun.
No pressure, but I dropped the link to the StreamYard chat that we're in over there, which means you can get in. And oh man, okay. So we're gonna while we wait for possible joiners, let's look at some of this Dune stuff that got put into the Telegram chat. Can somebody in the chat show me or like tell us the story of these 2 characters, the Paul character from the new movie, and who is this that we're looking at here that you feel like has this resemblance that you felt was a synchromistic resemblance? And we'll wait on the answer to that and look at some more of the Dune things they said.
Because we got at least 22 seconds. I swear. It's so weird to be delayed like this.
Oh, I know. Okay, this might be... Okay, it says Maud Gonne, married name Maud McBride, an Irish patriot, actress, feminist, one of the founders of Sinn Féin, which means we ourselves, and an early member of the theater movement started by her longtime suitor, Yeats, W.B. Yeats.
Yeah, Yeats, he was awesome. Poetry, anyway. So she was an agent because she has all the telltale signs.
Yeah, and it's just interesting that
she would be in Antifa today.
Right? Anti-fascist, feminist, that whole chestnut.
Well, she probably would like Ayn Rand quite a bit in her day.
So the sync here is that Maud was her name, was a wife and member of the Golden Dawn, and that her name sounds similar to Muad'Dib. Her name's Maud. She looks like Paul. And Paul from Dune, he gets a new name in the story, which is Muad'Dib. So
Huh.
that is interesting.
I have no
Um,
doubt, because you understand everything that these talentless writers write are based on real life. Everything. They can't make anything up to save their lives.
Well,
They
the
just
hollyweird ones
obscure
for
it.
sure. I think at least Frank Herbert did a good job, unless he had like a secret team helping him write this, the original author of the novels. But yeah, the movie versions, they can't, it's all scavenger shit. And since this mod was a member of an all-female Golden Dawn offshoot, Chris made the joke that the Bene Gesserit are the Hermetic Order of the Golden Moms, the female Golden Dawn. Because the Bene Gesserit are basically the female Illuminati in the Dune story. And
Well, they were actually talented. They actually could see things and feel things. That's not like the people we have today.
you want to expand on that? Because we're in another Tessarion realm, which is talking about the female Illuminati.
Oh, right. Well, I've seen that series, but I'm talking about actually doing positive, loving work. Like the Illuminati means illuminated, which is lit from within with God's light. That's what that really means. But there's like, can you imagine? I'm sure Madonna has been doing Kabbalistic ritual, but can you literally imagine her doing it? Do you think she's really doing a good job? She
No, I
even
think it's been pretty
mispronounced
watered
Kabbalah
down.
for 3 years.
She mispronounced what?
Kabbalah for 3 years. So I'm just saying they're just playing at it. They're all LARPers. They have no idea what real magic is unless it's the darkness, which they can think is real all they want, but it's impermanent. It will go away at some point and they will lose all their power.
Yeah, and it's all the evacuation that makes it feel so good. Evacuating themselves to let something else in, whatever that is.
Oh, to channel an entity so they can be the star. But it's really the entity that grabs a hold of the person or the star and says, "You're mine." And then that's a slavery relationship. Like I've heard Beyonce has a few names for herself, different personalities. Of course, most of them have that, even actors and actresses, because they have split personalities. That's all problems with their subconscious and a big doorway or hole in the aura where ghosts get in.
Yeah, and self evacuates that hole too. It's the memory hole.
I don't understand what self-evacuation is. I'm sorry.
Well, whenever your spiritual energy, your bioplasma, your inner light is trying to be contained in a Swiss cheese aura, it leaks out. And I, in my opinion, as someone that does work in people's auras, I think that's where memories are at. That memory is not in some filing cabinet in your brain made of cells where you can point to it and say, "Oh, that's where the info is of when I was 3 years old," right? It's part of your energy field. Your energy body contains memory, and memory is sort of the only thing that comprises ego, generally speaking.
Yikes. I think that's I think that hurt my feelings a little bit.
Really?
It's totally cool. I don't even think anyone would understand why. Say it again, Chance, can you?
I just mean that like anything that feels like we have power generally is deriving from something memory related, like knowledge is in our memory. Like memory is the individuated self.
I don't, what we call memory isn't at all what it is. Our souls remember, if you will, but there's no such thing as time. There is no there is no it is. And that's when you're going to get like a Buddhist circular conversation out of me, because is. And that's
It is
simple
what it
and
is.
true. And there's no other truth other than is. I
Yeah.
am and is.
I am what I am, and it is what it is. Divine masculine, divine feminine, in a sense.
Shakti Shiva. And that's the two sides of the brain that get together, masculine, feminine, and marry. If they're friends, they break through the subconscious and they have the baby called the third eye.
Yeah, and even when you look at that in a cross section in the brain, it looks like a dude on a cross with horns. That part of the brain where the pineal gland is the head. It's pretty interesting if you look at it from the back. The superior brachium, it's called.
Yuck.
I've never cut
I
open a
hate
head to check.
science. Yeah.
What about
yeah.
anatomy? That's you. It's us. It's cool.
Well, and not cutting up corpses, darling. If there's a drawing, I'll look at it and I'll enjoy it.
I'm not cutting up
but-
corpses either, so I guess I'm not 100% certain about the diagrams. They could be making it up.
Well, you could have 3 tummies. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine. That's the whole point. Imagine. I think that, all of this stuff, this reality they're trying to push on everybody right now is God's way of breaking everyone's ego eventually. It's going to take a while. And God is very compassionate and slow, in my opinion. But this is all to break the ego. And if you don't know what the ego is, then that can be very confusing. But we have a defense mechanism, a shell on us to help us grow and defend ourselves as we're growing. But once we break through the subconscious, then we break the ego egg and we become a more enlightened person. And it's not meaning you're going to get a bigger house. You can prove that by me. I'm not a woman of hardly any means, but spiritually, I'm richer than anyone I've ever met.
And there's more freedom there too. If you're not like, there's one element of pseudo, you could call it gnosis, I guess. I just think that term's corrupted. And I know people will point to examples of knowing that are useful, and that the word gnosis isn't bad, but you could say that shell of ego is kind of a cage, because people who don't recognize that they have this amazing vehicle of mind, that they can go within and also visit the astral. And I've even had out of body experiences.
The ego it's just a chrysalis over the true soul of the being, just like a butterfly, just like a worm. The ego egg must break for the butterfly to be free. But some people will die within that egg never having hatched. I mean it. That was Hermes.
I think when it hatches too, ego doesn't quit existing. It metamorphosizes.
No, actually, it goes back to the black goo, which is called prima materia.
Well, then how do you know who you are? You in the
You
character?
lose
like
consciousness. If your soul doesn't make it to the light, you are not a thing anymore. And in fact, you never actually existed ever. Figure that one out. That's one I've been chewing on. But I understand it now. But it's not explainable.
It's
Because
interesting
people
that-
still believe in time and linear knowledge. And this is beyond the linear. Did you hear that Big Bang?
Yeah, you don't know what it was, other than it was Hermes knocking on your door.
It was Hermes saying, listen to this girl, which he often does. And people often don't. So he was getting quite serious. It kind of gave me a start too.
Yeah, I do think that.
And I
we need
know
to-
what's going on, and I'm a little scared.
We need to get out of the circular logic loop. Every artificial reality overlay that we've got works on some kind of circular logic, some kind of artificially conceptualized alpha and omega point, right?
Sure.
A
Alpha,
beginning and an
omega.
end that's just conceptual, as opposed to existence exists and there's no need for beginnings and ends. And that's that's part of the getting out of the time loop.
Yeah,
scenario.
is. But you don't just do this on your own. You have teachers upstairs, I call it. You don't swim these waters alone. If you're not picking up the phone in prayer, if you're not asking for help from the up above, then I don't know how you're going to navigate these waters.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's crucial to staying in flow state full time for me, to have those daily practices of checking in, calling your folks, metaphorically.
Yeah. And it's a form of self-love, very much so.
Real self-love, not the what passes as self-love, which is like self-destruction generally.
Yeah. Codependency, loving other people more than we love ourselves, which really isn't love at all. It's the form of vampirism.
It so is. And it's what the Hierophant teaches. Just drew the Hierophant Fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, Hermes was here and he's a strict teacher.
I've never looked at this one. This weird deck someone gifted me is an Alice in Wonderland tarot.
I can tell that's a hookah smoking caterpillar. Why don't you shuffle real quick and ask if Hermes has something to say? Because I would love to do that.
Okay, I'll do that.
You don't mind if I smoke, do you?
I mean, it's not in my house. So you could do it. It's in your house.
Me smoke them peace pipe.
I could go for a hookah after seeing the caterpillar. I have a pretty sweet hookah.
It's really weird. It's kind of like I was introduced because I had this already. So you all, I just want to tell the audience real quick that I do endorse marijuana smoking. It's totally fine. But my personal reason for it, besides this world being a crazy mess, is that I have chronic back pain. And this is one of the ways I deal with that. Thank you very much.
Disclaimer aside.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also endorse lighting up if it's working for you. And I also endorse taking breaks if you haven't tried that. I endorse both sides of the coin personally. But sometimes you need to just go full time for a long time. Like Alan just brought up Balderson. I have never seen somebody go so hard on dabs before and during a podcast. And he said,
well, isn't he Norse? Isn't he Nordic?
Yeah.
Like by blood?
I think he said he might have like seizures sometimes without it too.
Oh, wow. Well, I wondered, Alan's little face coming up there, which is a drawing. Is that the Shroud of Turin? Because Alan, the joke is, it looks like Rasputin.
Is that who Alan is? I've been trying to figure out who he was this whole time.
You think Alan's Rasputin?
Maybe. I feel like he knows stuff and he's not letting us on to it.
Well, that's true, but I'm not allowed to say anything either. He doesn't even know I know.
Wow. I had a suspicion. Alan, drop the goods. It's making him laugh. That's good. Good medicine. Cool. So I dropped the deck playing 30 card pickup real quick. Actually,
oh no, you dropped it. You were trying to get a Hermes card and you dropped it. That's hilarious.
I've just been shuffling and talking about Alan's Rasputin drawing, self-portrait. Okay, so just the cards that fell are not part of the options now. And
he's just narrowing it down for you.
Hermes gives us the 10 of clubs, which would be the wands.
It's funny you called them clubs because he could hit you over the head with each one of them.
So this is the 10 of the fire element. Do you want me to say, or do you want to say what?
Tell me that's Godzilla.
It's Godzilla with 10 pepper mills.
Well,
because
if it's
in the
Godzilla,
Alice in Wonderland deck, the wands are pepper mills instead of clubs.
Well, Godzilla came to me actually right before Fukushima, and I'm not kidding. I made a video about it. So if you want to go all the way back to Fukushima, when that happened, I had visions that were driving me freaking mad of Godzilla eating this Asian place, like picking it up and eating it, and total chaos. And then like 3 days later, boom, it happened. And I'm like, oh, well, that's what it is. Of course, that's what, and everyone around me knew that's what I meant, even though I gave them like this cartoon version of it. They all understood, holy shit, she was having visions about that. So I would say there's another Godzilla coming, my friend, because the big boom, that was so loud. I have booms around here all the time, but that was like right here. So that's an omen, and you can bank on it. It always happens. So 10 of Wands is just, for me, just means you're burdened. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you're totally not there yet. And you're just kind of doing that last mile on your last leg.
Yeah, I could definitely jive with that. I kind of just, my way of explaining it is you've been running hot and you've been going hard, and you're about at the point where you actually need to chill for a minute.
Yeah, you need to put your burden down.
Out. You don't want to, you're going to burn out if you don't hit the next pocket in your rhythm.
Yeah, in the traditional tarot, you see a town just in front of him. So in about 20 minutes, he's going to be sitting down at that pub and drinking. But that last 20 minutes of getting that shit done is like the worst of his life. And wands, of course, rods are fire. So usually whatever's happening with the fire element is over quickly. So it's a big bang, you see. I mean, that was a big bang. I'm trying to explain
It's the biggest bang. It's all 10.
Hermes did something just then, and now it's on video. It'll be here forever, but now we just wait and anticipate to see, you know. So I would ask the cards now, what is it that we're expecting now? And to get a descriptor card for that. If anyone's interested, this kind of thing,
No,
I think
like
is
this.
fun.
I love playing card games.
Maybe
Gabriel said the boom earlier maybe it was the sound of the cards falling back through time.
Ooh, that's a sexy thought.
He's a sexy dude. He should call in.
It's very existential.
Come on, Leo King, get in here. You know
Leo
about
King.
these cards. He's just a regal as fuck type of dude.
What are you talking about? The Leo King?
No, but he's a King Leo. I mean, they're all royal as can be.
No, I mean
not
Edward,
the Leo King. No, not the
Edward
Leo
Palmer or whatever. Because I've interviewed him, so I was just gonna say hi.
So here's what I got. 7 of peppermills. I mean clubs. I mean wands.
What is that? Big blue bird?
It's a griffin. It's the bottom half of a lion with the top half of a bird of prey.
Are there any Masons in the audience? Come on, this is Masonic Griffin type stuff. Obviously, it's not Gryffindor. This isn't Harry Potter. And those amalgamation animals, we had them originally back in Egypt, and I totally understand those. But these are new British ones. So if y'all could like interpret with the lion feet and what is it? Phoenix head? What is it? What's the head?
I thought Phoenix was an eagle, double-headed eagle.
Well, that's also a Nazi symbol.
I mean, isn't that what the Masons do with their Phoenix?
I mean, your card. What's the top? The bird.
The top of the head is just like a bird head, but it's like a crazy bird.
Wait, that's Valkyrie wings, or what? That's is it Flash Gordon? A lot of the comic book people have those wings, but it's older than that. Oh, it's Thor and Odin in them. Yeah, but that's funny because it's all messed up in a British symbol. So if y'all want to do some research on that.
Griffin is half eagle, half lion, eagle head. That's what they're saying in the chat.
And so eagle is America. Who's the lion?
At least one Mason, possibly, or born into it.
Who's the lion? If the eagle is America's symbol, who's the lion?
Tribes of Judah. They're the ones They're the ones with the feet.
So is that my Bob Marley tribe? My bird tribe? My Bob Marley tribe?
I don't know. Maybe.
Bob Marley has a tribe, and it's like a big. And I think it's from the Judah people.
Come on,
right?
Gabriel, get in here. You can help us with this.
And so is it the war of Rasta's much bigger than just Rastafari, you understand. They're talking about not Eden, but the same place in the Matrix, the heaven place. You called it Zion. Yeah. Zion, lion, a Zion. Okay. So we're looking at this troop, this vibration, which I call Bob Marley, but that's because where I've heard it from, is going to be challenging the troop that is the eagle. I mean, that's what would make sense to me anyway. And I'm not a Mason, but Mason might be able to figure that out easier.
I have an even weirder interpretation.
Go for it, babe.
Wait, this is the order.
And 7 could be timing, like 7 days, 7 months. Definitely not 7 years, not with that kind of a boom. And fire happens quickly.
7 is also a 1 in a tetragrammaton sense.
When we put this together as 17, that's my tarot card number. I'm the star in the tarot as Aquarius, and that's my card, period.
I think that this is telling about the reptilious seraphim in combat with the grafted bloodlines of the royal houses.
That would still fit in my scenario. It is bloodlines fighting, but it's not really bloodlines. It's what we call bloodlines, but this is spiritual. It has nothing to do with physicality. It's tribes. Right. It's tribes. It's the best way. Vibrational tribes.
Right. And it reflects across the whole fractal. The 12 tribes are the same energy of the 12 archetypes of the zodiac and the 12
Yeah.
disciples, and it just repeats. Like it's
Because
one of the levels of the octaves.
most of our origins we're going to find in the stars, in astrology, in the music of the spheres, all of that original, which is high up. And then everything else that came down was filtered and dumbed down into bubblegum. That's why it's very important to know your stars. And I've known pagans all my life that'll never even look at astrology. I'm like, how can you call yourself a magician unless you're looking at the stars?
Reading some good stuff in the chat, but I
wanna
couldn't
hear
agree
it.
more. I've been trying to live based more on the nature rhythms than on fictional Tuesdays and 7 p.m.s and those type of concepts. Or look at the actual moon. What's that doing? Oh, just cut the deck when I said the moon. There you are. I love when that happens. There's really too much for me to read though from
Did
the
you
chat.
just cut at the moon?
When I said the moon, I cut at the moon, and I happened to look down and see it there.
Well, my God, are there any questions for the tarot in the chat? Because this is vibing, and vibrant is no joke. This is actually happening. Please try not to ask personal questions about your personal life, but try to ask about stuff that's about all of us.
Okay, so I was shuffling and cutting and funning with the deck because I wanted to know, like, who wins the conflict.
Why are you skipping to the end? Why don't you want to know how much torture we have to go through?
I like to read the last page. I like to read the book backwards.
That's right.
So
I remember the future.
Looks like Venus wins.
Of course she does.
So there's that, the Empress. And in terms
so
of the bloodlines fighting, this is the synthesis of that. Is
that a sheep? Is that the meek inheriting the earth?
It is the earthy tribes because it's Taurus. It's the practical. It's really a great resolution in my book.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter now because there's a whole bunch of darkness, leagues and leagues of darkness between now and that.
There always is. It's always both at the same time all day, every day.
But I'm curious about accuracy. Like, do you feel like you could vibe into what the next big thing is going to be for America?
You think I could?
I wonder, because you thought of moon, you said moon, you got the moon card. Sounds pretty cool.
Give me a moment. Let's hear what Gabe said in this, where he wanted to make some points on flesh and bone historical characters woven into fiction. A short little voicemail. It's probably a little bit from the blast from the past, but it's 1 minute 19 voicemail, and we're 1 hour and 19 minutes into the chat, so it feels appropriate.
It does.
Much love, everybody. Big respect, Occult Priestess. Great to see you on the show. I've got a comment about the fact that writers are using real life characters and weaving them into their stories. And that is, I do believe that crossing in between reality and fiction is a key ingredient to the manifesting of will. And if you think of it as a sewing machine, the needle buries into the cloth and then comes back out, then goes into the cloth and comes back out in a very sexual fashion, if you will. And so in that regard, the weaving in between reality and fiction, I think, is part of the intention we see with these true historical characters stitched into the threads of the story. Much respect. I love your hat. I got major hat envy. All right. Big love, everybody. Strength.
What a sexy voicemail.
That was awesome.
Hey, that's Slick Dissident on YouTube, and that was just like the slightest taste of his very calming and uplifting energy, delivering amazing occult syncretic secrets And
Well, I've
that's
heard of Dissident or seen Dissident before, but please send me links, guys.
Slick Dissident. He's a
Oh,
champion. I'm
Slick
telling you.
Dissident.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's
got
Slick
it.
Dissident. He's not just a
Got it.
dissident. He's slick. I'll
But you
put
know
that
what
in
he
there.
said about the friction of that needle and how that's sexual? Well, Aleister Crowley and his creeps and all the creeps that came after him used sex magic. And I understand friction from an alchemical point of view. And I actually coined the phrase years ago, fiction friction, my friend. I think you'll get a lot out of that. But I took all the sexuality out of the friction because to me, it's just ones and zeros because I don't have any hangups at all. All right. That means like a pure view is totally clear. But I think it's important that you pointed out that it is a sexual friction because I don't think I would have understood completely what you were saying without you putting that naughtiness into it, because it put me right back into Aleister Crowley and the OTO and the Golden Dawn and all of that, and how they're using the will to manifest the will of the ego, the idiot, into this world, that's what the secret is. That's what prosperity gospel is. Only that's the actual side of it that works. But you kind of have to sign a contract, if you know what I mean.
I think I'm ready for the America cards. America. I'm going to just do like a past energy, current
Past,
energy.
present, future?
Yeah, simple.
Just 3 cards. Actually, 3 cards can like totally figure your life out sometimes.
The past energy is the lovers.
The lovers.
There's a lot there, but if you consider all the innovations in communication America did to get us to the point where the current spells could be cast so quickly and pervasively, you consider the lovers as a polarization that is required for an alchemical process to be undertaken.
Okay.
Then,
girl's perspective is
yes,
basically
we'll get that too.
It's all about love. This is a story of love. Being born is about love. Dying is about love. Everything's about love. I mean, and America was supposed to be this new hope, this new love without oppression, with total freedom, something never seen in the world before. And, well, you can go back to Manly P. Hall for that, for his early American writings.
For me, it's yes and. It's both. For when I look at the lovers, it's both of those things.
I know. I'm saying I think both are very valid. What we're both saying, and they're just different perspectives, which is what I love.
Yeah.
I love a masculine perspective and a feminine perspective. And if you gave me a feminine one, I'd give you a masculine.
Who rules the lover's card? Who rules that card again? Who's the ruler?
Well, it's Gemini.
Yeah. So. Ooh, wow. Yeah, Gemini. Who rules Gemini?
Mercury.
Our boy. It's our boy. So, the present energy.
The devil inverted. Why
yeah,
is
so
you got him inverted? And that
came
means
inverted.
That's
so
2
major arcana in a row. So
easy.
that's pretty big read.
Okay, well, I get it because that's easy.
I think
the devil's easy, honey. I love this because this is school for me. This is like, I know the answer. I'm Hermione. Remember, I am Hermione. Okay.
You're wearing the sorting hat.
Who wants to be in my coven?
You're sorting us out.
I'd love to. I mean, it's partially my job as an Akashic librarian. But dude, so the card that you just got, show it again.
It's the lovers. Well, look at it right side up because it is this cool Alice in Wonderland deck.
Well, what you can recognize in a traditional tarot, let me say this before I forget it, is that the lovers show up again in the devil card. Only
yeah,
they're
it's very
chained
big
to him.
symbolic change to not have it that way.
They're chained to him, which means they're codependent, they're addicted, they got issues, they're in their subconscious, they're egoic, and they signed that deal with the devil.
Their chains are loose too.
And that's their spiritual materialism and their problems. But you see, it's upside down, which is the revelation. Juke joint Jezebel, the revelation. So that means everyone's going to know, which I knew this was coming, but that's Hermes saying it's coming sooner than I thought, that the revelation that we are under oppression by a sick and demonic government forces, whatever you want to call it, that there are predators and we are prey, and that we are at that time in the story where we need to stand up and fight or go into that darkness, you know? So it really is about testing your mettle right now and becoming the warrior, the light warrior you
The
were
light warrior,
meant
you
to
say?
be.
The light warrior? What?
You were
The-
meant to be.
what?
Now that's more of a Hermes card for me.
I mean, it's got his name in it, right? Right? Come
He's
back.
my hermit, and we're all Hermes hermits.
So I just want to point out the mad synchronicity
Good.
in the read. First of all,
Do
to
it.
get out of 3 cards out of the whole tarot to get 3 major arcana is not super good odds, right?
This is completely wild, but I told you it was vibing. I knew.
I
He
know it
told
is.
me.
I
Yeah.
know. I feel it. That's why we're playing the card game.
Did you see my light flash?
But you know that no, I didn't.
Oh,
I was looking
okay.
down, but you notice that this is card 6 and card 9.
69.
Gemini.
He's making jokes too on top of it. He's so
I
layered.
exactly.
He's
exactly.
layered.
It's multi-dimensional humor. Thank
See,
you.
now that's
Hermes
5D
humor.
chess.
So, but I want to say, maybe you already kind of said this, but to the reason I see the Saturn Capricorn inverted in this read is just because we see it for what it is. It's very visible. It's
Saturn
not the
Capricorn,
predator.
very powerful.
The predator is not like the disciplinarian energy is not like trying to, it's not the sensei that hits you in the face when you walk in with the 2x4 and you had no
It
idea.
does
you're
me, a psychic. It does me.
Yeah, but I mean, like for America right now in the present moment,
Right.
all the
They're-
writing's
they're-
on the wall.
they're
all
still-
of it.
They're still looking around though. They're still not sure who to listen to yet. They're still, as far as I'm concerned, but Hermes says that veil's going to come down in a boom.
And
boom.
Thoth Mark says 69 is the symbol for Cancer. So that is accurate.
Well, yeah, it is the symbol for Cancer. But we all think of Bill and Ted and stuff, right? Bill and Ted. 69, dude. Yes, Bill and Ted. I had to check with my spirit guide.
And the devil's 16. That's kind of or it's 15, I mean.
15.
Which is kind of a 6 in a way.
Well, it is a 6, but also 5 is Mercury communication. This is numerology, I'm saying, and 1, the sun. So it's a true communication that most don't want to hear, you know? Like if the veil takes off her bride, the bride takes off her veil and there's a skeleton instead of a lady, you know, that's America, dude.
And Rachel read my mind that America is a Cancer.
I think New York is also Cancer, the Big Apple.
No, check this out too.
Oh, wait, we're talking
6 plus
because there's
9
Cancer.
is 15. Whoops.
That is a magic trick.
Multi-dimensional.
It's a magic trick. Do you see?
Like,
this is my magic hat.
Right, you guys understand, right? That I couldn't have just been like, okay, what would be the headiest 3 cards to just like search out of the deck and pull them out? I couldn't have done that while also doing all this producer shit. Just so you know, you can trust me. Those were totally random draws. Actually, they were all jumpers.
Yeah, they jumped out.
Yeah, that's why I just play with it till there's the jumper. Then I'm not even really controlling what card
You're
I
not
pick.
responsible for what it
I'm not
says.
responsible for any of this. I have no idea what I'm doing.
I don't like being responsible for it either. It's like the spirits are doing it because I know I'm not that smart. There's no way in a million years you and I could have orchestrated this.
Yeah, it would have been way too much work. Ain't nobody got time for that.
No. In fact, I did not prepare on purpose. Like the last show I was on, I've been told not to prepare, just do it.
Wow. So there's a lot going on in chat. I can't keep up, but you guys
please.
are
I'm
so
going to give you the
fun.
floor. Do your thing.
Well, I just want to talk about the Hermit since it was the only one we didn't really give much of a, we were just like, yeah, there it is. But for the kids in the back,
Whoop, there it is.
I mean, numerical synchronicities aside, that is, first of all, it's a harvesting. So whatever seeds have been laid for America over the long term, from past to present, in the future, there will be a harvesting, and perhaps the rugged individualism that was the promise of America and the being guided by our inner light that we actually self-contain by getting our vessels purified. Dude, he's got his light in a lantern and the mouse is in a teacup. It's a vessel in a vessel. He might as well be an alien in a flying saucer right now, to me. So it's all about, the Hermit to me is all about, you've planted your inner light in a worthy container. In that sense, your body has become that proper container because you stopped doing too much to rip your aura into shreds and mess up your ability to self-contain the inner light, the divine spark. Snake Jones says America was built to be destroyed, the Masonic America anyway. But yeah, I mean, they can't destroy the land and not all the people either. So when that whole thing falls, maybe that's really an opportunity from God for us to do the great work on ourselves by seeing the consequences of the opposite written on the wall ahead of time. Anyway, what an amazing thing. Hermit in quarantine. Yes. The lease is up on the experiment called America. You guys, someone call in. You guys have got all the goods. What do you think, Korinne? You're over there giving me the look.
Am I? I'm just chilling.
What do you think about the hermit? I just said my stuff.
Okay.
Why do you think Hermes gave us the hermit other than all the jokes? I mean, there's also it's layers of meaning, right?
Well,
It's
he's
an onion.
thrice great.
Yep, that Orion onion.
So there's a light over at the Frankenstein place, Rocky Horror Picture Show. But it's like there will be a light if you are looking for it in the fog, in the darkness. There will be the light. And that's really all Hermes can promise you, is that if you're lost, you can find, if you're seeking sincerely, the light is always there.
Also, I think that one of the big battles for America right now is to defend the very basic natural principle of our gender and of the power of our union to like continue to exist. If existence is all that exists, then I think you could even simplify some of the questions of like the meaning of life and just say existence is the meaning of existence. It's its own meaning. It is what it is. And so really like the lovers, I know that's Tweedledee and Tweedledum, but pretend it's the original. I should have just got, it's fun that it's Alice in Wonderland, but pretend it's actually the Adam and Eve characters.
It matches my hat.
It does. It does. This was just the only deck at my desk right now. I was playing with it during the Weaving Spiders Halloween party, which was cool. But we got the lovers. Adam
But
and
we're
Eve.
all the lovers as one person, is what I was trying to say earlier. Psychologically, you have a masculine, you have a feminine, and then you have the God particle, if you like, the third eye. So we are the lover in one person.
Fair. So on the internal, this is you uniting the opposites and bridging the gap.
If you can.
The spark
But
gap.
that's where you need to gauge yourself. How are you doing with the other side of your brain, left and right, masculine, feminine? Are they fighting? Are they getting along?
I think this is saying that you're winning, at least our tribe winning.
Well, I think what that means is the great reveal. And that's not good or bad. It's a flat fact.
It's apocalypse, lifting that veil.
Exactly.
Shredded. Well,
flat fact.
But this is, okay, so you go from this to the 6 to the 9. It is that synthesis and the third eye awakening.
Yeah, and the 9 is the goddess. That's the number for the goddess. And that's what's been missing in this patriarchal Piscean ass society, is the feminine has been squashed into becoming a man, mostly into becoming an intellectual. And then the feelers, the men are being turned into these pussy ass feelers that have no meaning or spine, that are just like crying at daytime soap operas like a housewife back in the day.
Bitches.
Right? Punk bitches. And so what's actually happening is, I mean, on a larger level, bigger level, these people are finding out who they are. These are who they are. This is their spirit. This is their soul, dude. And their ego is giving way to their true selves. Eventually, we're going to see that. The ego is going to be giving way to the true self. Even if they haven't graduated, their ego won't crack. They'll be their true self. And if that's a horrible demon, then we will see that horrible demon.
Alan throws out here that Baphomet is not the Christian devil, but rather the god of occult knowledge. We're talking about the devil card. And I think it's open to which deck you're looking at, whether you say the devil is actually Baphomet. But if you're thinking of it as Saturn or Capricorn, that is the luminary that encompasses all the others. It came first. It's Kronos. It's both the
Well, in this dimension.
in
I
this
mean, in
dimension.
the other dimensions, Kronos is not even thought about. Like, he's a total fiction. He's not even real.
Well, that side of him, that role, but it's
Here
like,
on Earth is the only place Kronos has any domain.
so you don't think that
I
the
know.
concept of, because I associate homeboy Saturn with more than just time. I mean, technically everything that is about, if it's boundaries, containers,
He ate his
rhythms.
children, and that is the symbol of time, eating us as we die and reincarnate. It's real simple.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I also consider him like the boss of containers.
You might like him. Like, you might want to talk to him. He might be a mentor for you, like me with Hermes.
I don't know about that, but
Okay.
I do know that the times in my experience where like my consciousness decided to completely jettison Saturn and we kicked him out, everything came out of its containers and I couldn't make sense of anything. I didn't know where I began and things ended and where those things ended from one another. And so I had to ask for that to come back in a sense. And then I had a whole new appreciation for those containers. And I get that it's all technically fiction. Every rhythm is a decision that we make on what that timing is going to be. But when it comes to art projects or jazz and improv and a jam session like we're having, rhythm's handy. It's a really great component of creativity. So
the other side of the brain.
And if all is the imagination or the creation of the creator, then I think creator uses that rhythm, that part of artifice, to great purpose and great effect.
It's not artifice.
Well, okay, that's what I mean. I mean, it's artifice,
truism.
Artifice as in artistry.
Art. Yeah.
And there's the whole problem with language is we're equating artificiality with things that we create.
That's
and
why we take a moment.
It's not all the same.
We take a moment to explain things. It's just a moment. And then we rewrite that stupid ass narrative into the correct one. So we were talking about Baphomet, which I've had to do a lot of work with Baphomet, unfortunately, or on it to understand it. And Baphomet was something that was around the Knights Templar. And Hermes said Baphomet was like an amalgamation, a puppet put together for learning purposes. So each thing on the Baphomet is a symbol that means something in and of itself, but also together as a whole, like a puzzle or a puppet, a puzzle. So he's a teaching mechanism, according to Hermes.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Makes sense to me. I think maybe that's Alan's point too, is that even like as soon as you're just like, oh, don't worship the thing. That's just as silly as anything. But like, well, why? What are all those components telling me? What does it mean?
Well, I had to find Baphomet because so many people loved him, and I'm like, can you describe why? Like, what's going on there? It was in all the books, it was on all the t-shirts and all that, everything. And I'm like, man. And then there's Tracy Twyman, R.I.P.
Yes,
who did all the work with, and Freeman was.
Chat's gonna go nuts about you mentioning Tracy.
I found her through freemantv.com, and they were real life friends too.
Some of her best appearances were with Freeman.
Yeah, because I feel like he was compassionate enough to allow her to bring all that out, because this is scary for her to even bring it out, obviously. But she was a badass. She did things I wouldn't do. And I looked at her as an example of what I was not going to do. So I went upstairs and got guides to guide me to the Baphomet. And all we found was death. It was just where wherever we were looking for the devil or evil or any of these things, I just go to my friend Death, and he's like, yep, it's me again. They think I'm this, they think I'm that, they call me this, they sacrifice animals to me, they kill people in my name, and blah blah blah. Death doesn't worship death. Death is the Mahamudra. It's something very sacred and beautiful and deep in the occult lore of Buddhism and Hinduism, if you want to learn about death for real. But this cartoonish bullshit death is what they're sacrificing to. And I believe that's what the New World Order does worship. It's just darkness. I mean, these are all forms of labels and forms. And as a Buddhist, we understand that there are vibrations in this world, and the entire world, if you want to call it a matrix, is working with these vibrations. And if you can tune into the radio station, then you can see what vibration you're listening to, be it a person or an animal even. And it can keep you quite safe if you're doing it right.
Yeah, I mean, you can just, I think, give permission to your spirit team to help. They're waiting for you to be like, hey, I know that you're there, even if you can't perceive them in a sense way. It's been very helpful for me to just ask them for help when I'm in a troubling mindset. It's like, okay, I'm not the only one on this issue. They're going to, behind the scenes, help me out.
You know, that's what worry stones are really great for. And those little Kachina dolls, they're little tiny dolls. And you tell your worries to them, and then you put them away, and they worry for you. And you don't have to worry about it.
Someone in the chat. Yeah, I always have crystals on hand, by the way. Here's my, we got a lot of wands today. Here's mine.
That's hot. It's a big one.
It's a fiery one. It's got the ram on it, jade ram.
It's very masculine.
That's right. This is a meteorite stone on top. Hard to see. Yeah, this is my main one. So Tracy Twyman came up on Rogue Ways last night, my friend Lindsay's show.
Ugh, she's haunting us.
She follows the weaving spiders around, generally speaking, but not always on my show so much.
That's where I've heard most of the chiming in about her is coming from their sector. I promise you.
They're strong in force tonight, and maybe even some of them ones in the chat you don't even realize are spiders.
Illuminati we'll have to cross-pollinate all of us at once.
Get in a weave with us. I go on as often as I possibly can, to be honest.
I like a round table. It's really square.
So get in there next weekend. I won't be there, but I will watch. I'm going camping with folk hero, vibrant folk hero Jazz, the rapper. I'm going camping with Jazz. So I'll come back with updates about Sundog and Mooncat. But since
hippie.
Tracy Twyman is happening, I wanted to, since I was in the zone.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, so 5 of clubs on the Tracy Twyman. It's kind of like there's drama there, but there's also a chance to get something out of it.
Well, I would say pray for her, because that's a battle. It's a spiritual battle. Fire, wands, spiritual battle. Pray for her.
When I say drama, that's what I mean in a simpler term. Pray for Tracy.
I'm older than you. I use different words. That's the only thing.
We're saying the same thing, though.
Yes.
We understand.
Yes.
So I get that, because everything I know about her story was along those lines of like contention and fear and confusion.
She had a hard life other than her occult stuff.
But so many wands coming up. Hot
fire.
Hot. That's me. I'm double fire. Aries Leo, Aries Sun, Leo rising, fueled by the Libra moon. Air feeding the fire. So the next jumper, just to continue the Tracy Twyman.
Is Yona here? Hi, Yona. And Bubblegum Douche and Pat Priest. Sorry. Yona just showed up. Hi, Yona.
So he drew Temperance upside down to continue the Tracy story.
Well, do you guys know any priests? Because she might need some intervention, like actual, not just prayer.
Aren't you the priestess?
Haha. I'm not a Christian.
Oh, and that matters in this sense because of what she was up against?
What was she dealing with? Christianity.
Fair enough.
That's not my wheelhouse, baby. I can't set that table.
Okay.
But I'm telling you to get a Baptist. They rock. They rock the joint, really.
My folks took me to Baptist church when I was a kid. Okay. Well, someone out there.
Tracy obviously is calling, actually, and nobody was picking up. Well, you guys were all picking up the phone. I don't know if you got the same message I did, which is the cards.
Dude, I think she's calling. It's nonstop. She's coming up nonstop. And what do we really do for our deceased to help them? Almost nothing in this culture.
Well, culture, no, but in my world, we're always doing things to help the deceased.
Sure, but you can't get them all. You know, most
Well,
people aren't
that'd be
doing it.
You'd be surprised.
I know that Hermes is a psychopomp and he's taking
And
care of
I
all
am
of it.
too. I'm a
Yeah.
living psychopomp. Yeah, it's the work of two worlds. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's two worlds of work.
Maybe I can help.
You are helping right now.
Okay, so the last one that we're going to get in here is 7 of flamingos, which is swords. Flamingos are swords.
Oh, that's a hard one.
Yeah, it is. We're still kind of in that dance and the energy, so maybe no one's taking up the call.
Well, what was the question? What did you pull the card for?
That was just kind of like where it was just, I'm just continuing the story of like where we're at, figuring out what's going on with Tracy.
Well, it's not good. There are no good cards. I mean, America looks better than what she's doing.
Yeah.
So when I tell you to get a priest, I mean it. I'm not kidding.
Okay. Jim, get in on that. I feel like I want to tell you to look into doing that, Jim. You had a lot of connection to her. So we'll leave that there unless it comes up more, which is fine. But he says he's thinking a lot about Tracy since Halloween. And yeah, the veil is thinner in this time, as they say. I mean, I think it is. What do you think? Do you think it thins out this time?
Oh, hell yeah, it does. In fact, this year, I think it just fucking fell off and was like, fuck it. I don't care. And that's probably why the Big Bang is coming. But things happen. I understand things before they happen to you guys or to some people. Some of us are understanding it months and months before it happens and then not knowing when it's going to happen because we were already told it was going to happen. I hope that makes sense.
Right.
I don't know when.
I read the last chapter.
Know what.
I go to the last page first when I begin the book.
But all of my knowledge in that sense is based on a series of, well, there were some dreams, but mostly visions, and Hermes flat out telling me what was going to happen. So to prepare me, because he cared about me and he cared that I didn't lose my mind and that I would be okay during all this because I am alone.
Alone is all one. Yeah, so. That's why that needs to be on the t-shirt. Come on, someone help me with some t-shirt designs. That way
I've got all one going back to my very first videos on YouTube because Hermes is like, that's my slogan. We're all one.
All one.
But that doesn't mean that I'm going to do your homework for you or you're going to do my homework for me. We are individualized souls that are either lead or gold. So
that's very
another nuance. What?
Prosaic and poetic. The way that truth often pops out. Raw truth.
R.A. And we can say Amen Ra.
Okay, so I'm going to pop off a question from our call-in line. Jim, who we were just talking about, like 20 minutes ago, he asked, what are your thoughts on metaverse and AI virtual reality? So this is a gear shift. Or is it? Because we were talking Gnosticism and simulation theory is Gnosticism.
So if it's science and gross physical things of the mental realm describing these things in that way, you're better off talking to who I call Princess Aurora. She's going to be on Obelisk next. And she is the flying rainbow lasagna lady. And she understands like AI and simulation theory and all of these more logical brained ways of describing things. I'm not there. I'm an old soul, in old land with old language and more original meanings and feelings. So speaking to me is more like speaking to a fairy tale than a scientist.
Yeah, and it's this, to me, it's the same old, to me, AI is just the psychological concept of superego, which is where a lot of the pain and danger comes in with ego at all, which is the part of ego that isn't even your bubble space. It's everyone else's ideas about who you should be and what you look like to them. Right. And that's
Well,
AI. That's the
ego is a whole other show because it's too much. People are too backwards about what they think it might mean. So I don't even want to dabble, if you don't mind.
word. We only have so much time left. But
I
Melanie,
want to thank Viiiibes in the chat saying the high priestess has thrown the veil away and is running stark naked into the night.
it's very witchy.
He gets me. He totally gets me.
Yeah, I have not kept up with the Vibe or the Rockfin chats as well as I could.
I'm there. I'm on Rockfin.
Okay, cool. I'm watching YouTube and some on my Rockfin and on the Telegram call-in line. There's 4 places that chats are happening, which is awesome.
I want to thank Claire Mathis, Scott Cook, and Gum Douche for those awesome tips. Thank you so much.
Okay, so on the thought of AI, just to throw a card at it, because I just am fondling
Go
this
for
deck.
it, because Hermes can answer that better than I could.
Queen of Swords reversed.
That's my card reversed. It's just shut the fuck up. It's not real. It's all fiction. Get back to the original stuff.
Right. Just cut it away. Cut away the bullshit.
I cut off people's heads with the sword of truth.
Or
That's
with the flamingo of truth in this case.
That is my card as an Aquarius. That's my minor arcana. I am the woman of sorrow, the queen of swords.
Bottom of the deck there. Bottom of the deck there. You were just
What-
talking about High Priestess. That was on bottom.
I can't. It's upside down. I can't read it.
It's not, is it? That's the,
Yeah, dude, I can't read that. It's totally upside down.
It is. That's High Priestess.
It's the queen of what?
No, now
this
now I'm showing High Priestess. That was on the bottom of the deck.
Oh,
but
I'm
it's-
sorry. I'm
It's
on
Alice
the
as
wrong.
the High Priestess.
Dude, I was in the wrong window.
You were looking at the chats. Okay, I got you. You were seeing 20 seconds ago.
Now I see the high priestess is our little Alice.
You just said High Priestess from that chatter, and then that was on bottom of the deck. So I thought that was fun.
Wild.
Yeah, still in the zone.
Wild. You're glowing, Chance. You got like you're really vibing, like for real. Like you lived.
This
up
is
to
my
your show.
zone. This
You
is
did
my
it.
zone. This is highlight time. So of course I'm highlighted.
It's the
Right?
high five. I mean, I
This is-
feel it. It feels like a buzz, like a.
They're all feeling it. That's why they're here.
Good. That's
we're here
vibe.
for fun. We're not here to just like make everything so deadly serious. We can do both.
Deadly serious can be fun too.
I do that. That's InnerVerse. This is Vibrant. 2 sides. Okay, so
Oh.
Melanie wants to know your thoughts on using Ouija board.
Okay. Don't do it. If
Hey.
The Exorcist taught you anything, it should have taught you not to use a Ouija board. You can make your own, and you can bless it, and
Don't use the Milton Bradley one. You don't trust those fuckers.
and you can say, I don't want to talk to any discarnates. I want to speak to gods, and see if any of the gods are willing to come into your homemade beautiful craft.
That's really good. I love the make your own. It's a way better idea.
And you don't have to talk to the dead. That's the point. I mean, I don't really have a lot of respect for mediums.
I was about to ask. I don't think it's a really good profession. One time I participated in seance because it was
It's okay to learn. It's okay to go and learn.
well, the thing is, I was at a festival that was a camping festival.
Yeah.
And I had 2 choices. I could go into my bed in my tent and go to sleep, or participate in a seance that was going to be happening 15 feet away from my tent. So I'm thinking, like, should I go unconscious while they're opening interdimensional portals to the underworld, or should I be there watching at least? And then of course the spirits present picked me to be the medium for the seance. So I was like, okay. I actually
And you had to
volunteered.
work.
It was cool. My friend Desiree's grandpa made us laugh and cry, and that was all good. But yeah, so mediumship, if you find yourself with those powers, my opinion isn't that don't get stuck there. Like it
Right.
just
All you
means
have
that
to do is step up the stairs a little bit. Just one more step.
and
Get
the-
past the dead.
and they're going to still talk to you, and that's you having the psychopomp potential. But it just don't be like, my job is to talk to the dead. Just
A lady told me that. A lady medium told me that. Said, if the dead are talking to you, it is your responsibility to talk to them and solve their problems. I was like, fuck you, bitch.
I just like, there's the light. But if, I don't know, sometimes I feel like there's little moments
If it's
where it's no
needed,
big
I
deal.
do it. Like obviously being a psychopomp, I have smoted, we call it smoting, SMOTE. I've smoted many souls onto their next plane.
You can
And
tell
a
the
lot,
difference between the hungry ghost and someone that's just giving a message to a loved one of encouragement or love.
Hermes is my operator. That's why it's so important to locate your spirit guide. So Hermes puts the people on the phone. I don't pick and choose. Hermes puts people on the phone for me.
That's very good. You've got it's like Tank in the Matrix. The guy
Yeah.
who's running the-
Take and switch.
yeah, the coolest characters. So Melanie said that she made her own. She was the one who asked about the Ouija board.
Sweet Melanie.
She did make her own as a teen one time with squares of paper on the floor and a drinking glass. And she
Oh,
said
yes, I know that one.
the glass shot across the room on the first question.
Holy crap.
You got the gift.
That would make me want to try it again. Like, can we just do projectiles? Because that could make me rich. But that's amazing that you took the time to experiment. And I hope that experimentation keeps following you in life.
Illuminate Me says it's as pompous as prank calling as a kid to just mess around with the Ouija board. Alan, I know, has accidentally called the other side without anything to actually ask, or for, and they pick up the phone, and he's like, actually, I just was seeing if you were there. That's bad form, but funny. So,
well, I think we have kept this on the up and up very much tonight, as far as class.
super classy. Super classy.
So if somebody wants to get raunchy, they're more than, go ahead.
Sometimes we do, but this has been amazing. We're kind of at the point where I'm ready to wind down.
8? Okay.
Yeah. I go 8 to 10. Yeah, it's 8 your time. We can wrap up. Any last comments that you want us to see?
Questions, anything, you guys. And thanks for being here. I want to thank everybody that I got tipped, and I'm so wow. Thank you so much. It's amazing.
Tip this lady and follow her Rockfin channel.
I did YouTube for 10 years and I didn't make one thin dime. I never monetized, and I just did it out of the love of my heart. And Hermes told me, listen to Jason Burmis and get over to that Rockfin. And so I did. And now people are being generous. And I just want to thank you for helping me cultivate my faith.
They're so good over on, like, it makes me mad when people talk shit on Rockfin. Like, whatever. It's only helped me. You think what you want to think. If you want to have an excuse why you're not going to try something different than GooTube, whatever, you do you. They're like, when people are talking shit on Rockfin and they're doing it in a live chat on a YouTube video, I'm just like, who are you again?
Aren't we on YouTube right now?
We're on more than one thing, yeah.
Right, we're on a bunch of things.
Yeah,
but I don't censor myself, so I don't concern myself where I'm at, right?
I don't censor myself, but I use code words that are funny because I like them better anyway.
But I love that Rockfin. I played the entire Rocky Horror Picture Show for Halloween with no censorship. I can be a DJ. I can play all the music I've ever loved. Rockfin is infinite at the moment. At the moment, it is the wild, wild west. And I hope y'all come here if you're not here already.
Yeah, I put her links in the 2 chats that aren't already her chat. So I hope
Thanks,
to see
guys. I'm so glad.
More cross-pollination between us. Can I come on your channel and do the same thing, but you drive sometimes?
Yeah, totally. You show me how to drive, and that'll be even a lesson for me. It'll be nice.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
sweet.
Bring your crew.
Yeah, bring the team. They're good about coming with me to fun stuff. A lot of you guys were there on the Peace Dealer episode yesterday, and that was so fun. There's somebody tapped into the gods. Love that guy. So I just feel like, because I've been playing with this deck so much, I'd like to pop a card.
Is that the 2 of Cups?
You got a lot of love coming your way. The lovers are here in the smaller microcosm. This is the final, this is what we are being left with from our boy Hermes, 2 of Cups.
That means truly learning the right way to give and receive love.
You guys are doing it, I think. You're on it.
Very important.
And it's the 2 of hats, and there's a cat above the hats. And this deck is hats instead
and
of
Hermes
cups.
is the ultimate cat. The dad's cat. The scat cat. He's the every cat.
So good.
It's
All right,
awesome.
guys. I guess we'll wrap it up.
Mwah.
Thanks so much for being here. I'll let the stream breathe for a minute and hang out and chat for-
Occultpriestess.com.
occultpriestess.com. And you saw the link to her rock fin. Follow this lady. She's a homie. Really great vibes tonight. So much fun. We'll do it again sooner than later. This is why I want to do two Vibrants a week, because I've already got it booked out in the middle of December, and I want to talk to you
Wow.
again more sooner.
That's amazing. Well, that's why you'll come on my channel.
Yes, but also, Korinne, we do it every Wednesday night. Call in if you want. I always
Sweet.
open it up. So call in, send me a direct message. If you don't want to do it through Telegram, I'll give you the
Thank you.
Call in any night. This is the community show. And everybody, thanks for tuning in. Love you all.
Bye,
So much fun.
guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.